Hi everyone. So we got the Scorn of the Antenolla Extreme version. This is the team I'll be using. So let's go through the team first and foremost. Now I'm using Sacred Shield Charlotte. The most important thing about her is that she has 200% fire and earth resistances. After a buff. Now I will not buff fire resistances, so that's the reason why I'm opting for 200 hard fire resist, and I will be buffing earth resistance on turn 2, bar stone gum that is, so she will be fine from turn 2 onwards. Now her gear is, as you can see, quite loaded with STMRs, or especially on the ability side of all of that. It's usually easier if you do have a dedicated buffer. Alright, nothing else for her. Vaughn is doing the usual passive provoke evasion. I gave him the super ribbon, so he's immune to all statuses, because the boss does use status, inflicts with status, what is the word? Ailments? That is the word. So I left some stuff untouched, water resistance from the last Scorn I did. I was just lazy. I mean, he's not gonna get hit anyway. So I just left him as is. And if he does die, I will fix that, of course. Next up is Arif. Now, mind you, there's 2 units on this team that are super expensive. Number 1 is Arif. As you can see, I'm using the original Arif's STMR twice. I'm also using Arif's New Vision Arif's STMR. I'm using Volka's STMR. It's not that cheap, I'll be honest here. Arif is also immune to all the statuses that can be applied by the boss, and she I mean, I was very quick to fill out all her SPR, so I just gave her some resistances. I boosted her HP, MP. I also gave her a wing chart for whatever reason. I don't know why. It just so happened. And she's using her own STMR as well, which is level 10 already. So yeah, she's quite well geared. I also geared her Brave Shift form. Should this come, or should this be needed? But I don't think so. And again, super expensive build. As you can see, I'm using a fair amount of STMRs here as well. I mean, we are almost at 4.4k magic, so yeah. I mean, all of those are STMRs, as you can see. I know this isn't very cheap, but you can do this challenge without her Brave Shift anyway. And she's also using the same vision card. So next up is White Mage Rosa. You can technically gear her for rods. I just had the Clan Master's headband equipped anyway, so I just gave her some katanas, because the boss's break gauge breaks to katanas and rods, and something else I forgot already, but I guess katanas and rods are the most easiest to come by these days. I also get her for some spirit and defense and HP. Should I go beyond turn 5, that is, because on turn 5, the boss does a whole amount of damage to the whole team. And lastly, we do have the star of the team. That is going to be Awakened Dragon Akstar. Now, I know I should probably use a different weapon that provides plant killer, sorry. But my plant killers are quite nice, 250%. If you're on my friends list, my friend Dragon Akstar has 300% plant killer, but a little bit less attack power. Now, as per usual, I'm facing the problem, or challenge I should say, that my friends list is so bad and the people do not equip their characters for the latest trials, so I'm just using what I can get my hands on. Now, here are the materials he's using. Again, a whole lot of STMRs involved. And he's also using Cloud's vision card, because I do not have his own vision card leveled yet. Gearing would be so much easier with his own card, but alas, I guess. And I also get his Brave Shift form because that is the first, or the first 2 turns will be spent in his Brave Shift form to buff him up and all that stuff. And he does have Ancient Sword over here, which I would love to use in his base form as well, but it just has so little attack power, so I reserved it for the Brave Shift form. Nothing else changed though. I kept his, overcapped on most of his stuff already, but at least he has 300% plant kill on this form, so I guess we're good. And I'm using a bad Near Vision Akstar friend. I'm not gonna show it, it's just embarrassingly bad. He does have 0 plant killer, so yeah. I mean, that is the standard friends list of a non-famous YouTuber, I guess. Alright, so I'm gonna cut the video should this run fail, and if it does, you'll notice anyway. So, see you in just a second. Alright, so let's give this another go. I've been looking for friend units for the last couple of hours, and I found a non-friend of mine who has some killers, which is okay. The last attempt I did with 0 killer friends were just shy of a few percent on turn 20. As you can see, I swapped in Sylvie because she provides immunities to confusion, which Aerith does not, and I was the Achilles heel on my very first attempt. She has this exact same gear as Aerith, so you're not missing out on anything with me not showing her. Alright, let's dive right in, see what happens, and I'll explain while I go. Alright, so White Mage Rosa will break the boss's break gauge. It takes 2 turns for that. So let's do that. Sacred Shield Charlotte will cover and Light of Grandchild. Seeker Freedom Vaughn will shoot Pyroclasm to break the boss's break gauge. Sylvie will Spring Cleaning. She will Marion Watch over me. And she will provide Quake Refuge, so Charlotte does not take any damage from the boss's first ability, or the Earth ability. Akstar shifts into his Brave ability, or Brave Shift, uses Culmination of Destruction. He's using Raining Blade, Nation Division, and Disciple Blade Grave Result. And we will be targeting the top vine for that. And the same applies to different unit. Let's wait for Rosa to finish. And let's have both Akstars go at it. Alright, that looks decent. Alright. The boss does an Imperil at 100% fire and earth, but Charlotte has more than enough to cover all of that and resist it. Alright, now Rosa. Let's reload Rosa first and foremost, have her use Radiant Arrows, wait for this to finish. Meanwhile, let's queue up Triple Blade and let's use Disciple Blade 3 times, Grave Result that is. I will use Deathblade Falling Star at a later point in time during this fight. So that is the reason why I'm not using it right now. Alright, the break gauge is broken. Vaughn is just going to reapply his breaks. And Charlotte is going to use Freezing Punishment because we are using ice damage. Let's Imperil Ice by a little bit, while both Akstars will deal damage to the top vine now. And as you can see, it's dying very quickly. It is dead already, which is nice. We will also swap out of the Brave Shift ability in just a moment. Sadly, Sylvie did not fill her limit gauge, but that is okay for the time being. Let's use Gracious Knight, Protective Vines, Protective Petals, and we're good to go. The reason why we're killing the vines first is pretty much they provide buffs to the boss, so it's really, well, it does nothing attacking the boss. He has too much def, too much resistances, etc, etc. Alright, let's move out of Brave Shift, use triple Hidden Blade, and my Akstar will actually just use 2 times Destructive Blade, Guiding Mirror of Equity, while the friend unit will provide the Ice Imbue to everyone. And he will also use Destructive Blade, Glacial Fissure once and Guiding Mirror on the second one. We will specifically, I don't know, I'm not gonna target anyone specifically here. So Sylvie uses her LB. Charlotte uses her LB. Vaughn does nothing for the moment, while Rosa uses Prayer of Restoration, because I believe the boss does a huge damage burst on the next turn. Let's actually target one of the vines first, just for simplicity's reasons. Alright, we're dealing quite a fair amount of damage, almost killed it. That's good. That's really good, I'm liking this. Alright, Vaughn uses True Pyroclasm. Now I cannot use Limit Burst on the friend unit. Usually on turn 4 you would Limit Burst with Akstar. I will forego this and just keep on the usual rotation. Now Charlotte does receive a fair amount of damage, but as you can see we are fine. And now it's pretty much rinse and repeat. White Mage Rosa will use her break or her barrage ability. Let's wait for Charlotte to finish all of her stuff. Alright, double prayer, radiant arrows on the main body. Sylvie will reapply spring cleaning and use double heal on Charlotte, or everyone I should say for that matter. Seek of Freedom Vaughn will use Jade Parry just because. Of an Eruption and Red Spiral just to deal a little bit more damage. Let's just use her LB again. And Akstar will use Destructive Blade Fissure twice and Revive Blade Reverse Strike, so we recover some MP and deal a little bit more damage. And if we're lucky, we will be destroying the boss's the vines as well. Alright. Alright, perfect. Both vines are destroyed. Now we get to the meaty part of this whole fight where we actually kill the boss. Looking quite good so far. Not gonna complain. Looking better than I expected too. Right. Radiant arrows 2 times in a row. Vaughn is going to break. Let's wait for this to finish. Alright. Rosa, go at it. Now Sylvie will triple Gracious Knight. Let's refresh Quake Refuge. And it's turn 5, so we do have one more turn. Let's use Protective Paddles. Does the boss have any Imperil to Ice? Yes, he does. So let's have Charlotte use Knight's Command and Veil of Sacred Frost. Meanwhile, Akstar will use... what's he gonna use? Well, I guess he's using Destructive Blade, Glacial Fissure, Guiding Mirror. Let's check how long his Imbue lasts. Where's the Imbue? Adds Ice Element, 3 more turns. Okay, great. And Destructive Blade, Guiding Mirror of Equity. And let's deal some damage. The boss has a buff up, right? Yeah, reduces damage, so we're dealing reduced damage. But it's still a lot, as you can see, so the boss might die very quickly on one of the following turns. Alright, we'll get Vaan dodges everything. Perfect. Is the buff still up? Nope, it is not. So let's have Akstar switch into his good... No, let's not. The break gauge is coming back up in a turn. Let's not have that happen. Oh, I should say, let's wait for that to happen and then switch back. Alright, Akstar is using, or both Akstars are using Destructive Blade Glacial Fissure. Meanwhile, let's fully heal up our tank. Sure aim. And Pure Prayer, why not? Charlotte is using her LB. Sylvie will. She needs to use Hop into the battle this turn. Let's also use with the standing elements, because I believe we are due for the big burst turn of the boss. Vaan uses Howling Wood. So we get rid of the Esper mission. Oh, by the way, the missions. No items, evoke an Esper, which we just did, and defeat the boss within 20 turns. Alright, let's have the Axtars go. We should deal a lot more damage right now because there's no buff active. Yeah, almost 20%. So that's good. Alright, heavy hitter. I believe on turn 7 we do get a huge fire attack on us. We'll see though. Right, Rosa, double prayer, radiant arrows. While Charlotte uses her Light of Grandshield. Vaan refreshes the brakes, while Sylvie spring cleaning, protective pedals, and I just did withstand the elements, didn't I? Let's check. Adds ice element. Okay. Yeah, we did. All right. Now the friend X starts using World of Blizzards, Destructive Blade, Guiding Mirror of Equity, while Mai uses Destructive Blade and Guiding Mirror. Alright, let's have Rosa start breaking the break gauge while Sylvie does her thing. And let's have both our extras go, I mean, what the hell. And that was my Steam, which I should close, but yeah, doesn't matter right now. Alright. Oh yeah, there's the big burst. Let's see how we fare. Only Vaan died. That is good. We got away easily on that one. Good. Now, let's repeat. Double prayer, radiant arrows. That is pretty much the whole fight, I should say too. There's nothing else happening, so Charlotte revives Vaan, while Sylvie heals everyone back up and refreshes spring cleaning. And we're good to go. Now let's brave shift with Akstar and let's use Frozen Blade of Imperial Ruin and Discipled Blade Grave Pursuit. And what is unlucky right now is that the friend unit might not have enough MP to do the same. Yeah, he does not. That's bad, so he's only using Imperial Ruin, I guess. Because we're not allowed to use any items whatsoever. Anyway, we will refill our MP next turn though. Alright. And we repeat the whole rotation, but the boss is going to die within a very few turns. Alright, Vaan breaks the boss. Sylvie uses her LB. I believe it does fill MP, right? Yeah, restore MP, so let's do that. Charlotte uses her LB. Everyone's buffed up. And now here comes the burst. Frozen Blade of Imperial Ruin, as well as Discipled Blade Grave something something. Frozen Blade, Grave result twice. And let's see how much damage we deal on this turn. I believe I forgot the Imperil. Yeah, I forgot the Imperil, right? No, I didn't deal much damage. Wow, I'm surprised, to be honest. I'm really surprised. Alright, Prayer of Restoration. And let's use Sure Aim, because why not? Alright, I guess it's 3 more turns or 4 more turns until we kill the boss. The boss resumes his usual rotation, and so do we. Rosa, Radiant Arrows twice, let's have a go. Sylvie needs to use Hop into the Battle on Charlotte, and let's also use Withstand the Elements. Charlotte will use Knight's Command and Freezing Punishment. Vaughn refreshes the debuffs. Meanwhile, Akstar will Edge of Imperial Ruin, Disciple Blade Grave result, and we will switch back into his usual form right after that. Oh, I forgot. Deathblade Falling Star, of course. So let's Edge of Imperial Ruin, Disciple Blade Grave result, and Deathblade Falling Star. Which won't deal much, to be fair, because the boss's break gauge is still active, but let's use it because that is the last time we were in the Brave Shift form. Alright. Oh, the boss buffs himself again. Ugh, annoying. Alright, Rosa finishes off the boss's break gauge. Now, Freezing Punishment on Charlotte. She doesn't have anything else to do right now. Let's just use Assault Strike, Jade Parry, Half an Eruption on Vaughn. While Sylvie refreshes Spring Cleaning and also uses Protective Vines and Protective Petals. Alright, let's switch into the usual form and use Destructive Blade, Revived Blade, Guiding Mirror, and the same applies to the friend unit. That. How long do our imbues last? Where are the imbues? That's Ice Element, that's the last one, perfect. That's what I call timing. Totally unintentional. Alright. Once the buff wears off the boss, we will start dealing some true damage. Alright, he still has his buff active, which is annoying, but we'll deal with that. So I believe it's either this turn or the next turn where, whoops, I used the LB, which is wrong, of course. Right, Destructive Blade, Glacial Fissure, and the friend unit provides the imbue, of course. Charlotte refreshes all the buffs, or her LB. Now let's use Withstand the Elements, because I believe we're due for the burst. And let's use Marion Watch Over Me. Vaughn refreshes all the buffs. And let's wait for Rosa to finish. Start with the bottom one, have the top one along. Alright, so we might be done on turn 14. Oh, it's the next turn where we will get hit then, I guess. Alright, fair enough. Rosa. Double prayer, radiant arrows. Van. Well, I guess you can just use the Esper. Charlotte uses Light of Grand Shield. Sylvie, well, nobody's left behind. Akstar uses Destructive Blade and Guiding Mirror of Equity. I mean, as you can see, the boss isn't really that hard. Right, since we are not going to break the break gauge anyway, let's have both Akstars go along. Alright, so we should kill the boss on the next turn. 30% seems doable. Let's reload. Rosa's Radiant Arrows. Awakened Akstar is using Destructive Blade Fissure 3 times, and that should seal the deal. But before, let's have Van break the boss once more and have Freezing Punishment from Charlotte, so we are having all the necessary buffs and debuffs up and running. Right, let's wait for Rosa to finish and hopefully kill the boss on this turn. And there we go. It took a little bit longer than I expected. I mean, that's, I guess, what you get for not having 300 or 250% killers on your friend unit. So, again, that's another case showing that good friend units matter. And if you're not a super popular streamer, you are having a harder time doing all of these challenges, but this boss wasn't really hard, as you've seen. Alright, so we also did all the missions, no items, evoke an Esper within 20 turns. Easy clear, easy boss. Thank you very much for watching. I will also request a friend. Yes, perfect. That pretty much concludes this video. Thank you all for watching and see you on the next one, which is going to be probably next week on Thursday. For, well, whatever is up. I believe it's going to be Kingdom Hearts units. Alright, see you on Thursday. Bye.